everyone. Thank you for joining us on this lovely snowy afternoon, last session of the day. We appreciate you guys taking the time to join us. My name is Brandon Potter, Head of Product for the Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability, and I'm joined with my esteemed colleague and superstar, Shelly Bakke, who leads our customer and partner success team, part of our engineering squad here. First, I want to give a huge thank you to each of you for joining Shelly and I today, and for everything you do for our customers. As partners, this session is focused on partners and everything that you can do as partners to begin or grow your sustainability practice with Microsoft. Now, are we on the slides? Okay, there we go. First, just a show of hands, how many of you have worked with Cloud for Sustainability or had an implementation? So one or two, okay. Well, what we're going to do, just to start out with here, I'm going to take you a quick rundown. We're going to take you through just a very simple but packed agenda. First, I'm going to talk about the Cloud for Sustainability and how partners can get started, and take you through several important assets and set of assets that you can take home with you to grow your practice there. Then I'll pass it off to Shelly, who will take you through a few of the best practices and through partner assessments. Now, at Microsoft, we've been on our sustainability journey for quite some time. And from our first set of commitments back in 2009 through to the reset of our commitments in 2020, we've made tremendous progress. As we've gone through this progress, we've had a tremendous amount of learnings that we've gained. And that's what we're doing is bringing those learnings, building technologies to help our customers, help our partners, help our customers through their own sustainability journey. And there's really three key benefits of building a sustainability practice with Microsoft. Our Microsoft Cloud Platform, it extends beyond Azure, Fabric, Power Platform, Dynamics 365, and Microsoft 365, and of course, Copilot Studio and Azure OpenAI. No other partner can provide as much breadth as Microsoft provides across the board for helping customers on their sustainability journey. Second, accelerating your business growth through partner programs and our investments that we make in each and every one of you. And the help that we bring, what we can bring to reach more customers through all of our GTM channels, which include AppSource, Marketplace, peer-to-peer, and our field sellers. Now, sustainability is a fundamental core need across all industries, all rooms of the house. Building a practice with Microsoft enables you to deliver sustainable solutions to every stakeholder across those organizations. Now, since we're here in the Windy City, I thought it would take a few moments to take you through a bit of a whirlwind tour through many of the assets that we've created and curated to help you begin and grow your sustainability practice with us. Don't worry, it's only 25 slides, but I won't be dwelling on each and every one of them. What we've really done here is put together basically a set of content, a resource guide, if you will, to take home and get started, learn, grow your practice with Cloud for Sustainability. So don't forget after the conference to go download this deck. It's a very useful guide to help you on your way. Now, first and foremost, you need to start by getting your hands on the product. And for that, we offer free sandbox offers and SKUs that you can acquire. So through the process noted on this slide here, you can go to this site, register, and they'll send you offer codes to sign up and gain access to Microsoft Sustainability Manager, part of the Cloud for Sustainability. This is free for anybody already registered in the Microsoft partner programs. Now, once you've got the product in hand, it's time to start learning the product. Through our vast set of learning pathways, these help customers everything from level 100 to level 200 courses, helping from getting started to extending the solutions, and so forth. Now, beyond the learning paths, one of the best places to go for ongoing, regularly maintained is the product documentation. Like all products at Microsoft, we offer a rich set of documentation, regularly maintained through every release. It's really the best place to go when you get stuck or are trying to learn a new part of the solution. And twice yearly, our engineering team puts on something that we call the Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability Technical Summit. This is a set, what is it, like 20, how many sessions do we do
About
these?
20 sessions. It's usually over 4 days, about 5 sessions a day.
It's about, it's a great program, and this is put on directly by our engineering team. So all of my product management team, our customer and partner success team members, a number of sessions from everything from implementation practices all the way to deep dives on key capabilities within the solutions. Doing this twice a year, kind of aligned with our major releases each year, helps you to understand how to sell, how to implement, how to demo. And these are available free for anybody to go watch. They're recorded. You can go see all past versions of these. We just actually finished our second one here just a couple of weeks ago. So really excited for these. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback from customers and partners on the help that this gives. And now that you've got the product, now that you've learned the product, it's time to sell the product. And this is where we have a number of rich assets available to you on PartnerSource. These are maintained products as the solutions continue to evolve. We evolve the content out here. This is content, marketing content, pitch content, messaging content, all sorts of materials out here to help you communicate and talk to your customers about the value, the benefits, and what Cloud for Sustainability can do for them. Now, sales assets are one thing, but one of the most important pieces is customer stories. So be sure to also check out the library of customer stories that we have for the Cloud for Sustainability. This library is always growing. Be sure to check back regularly. We are bringing more customer stories quite frequently here now. So really excited for these. And this is just super important when you're talking with customers to make sure you can show these references. They can see the values, understand the benefit that other customers are seeing. Once you've had that conversation, oftentimes in the sales process, you need to go through a proof of value or proof of concept flow with those customers to close the deal. So what we've done is we've created a set of proof of value templates. These templates accelerate that process of going through a proof of concept or proof of value phase with the customer during the sales process, help them quickly see the value, more importantly, helping close that deal and get that customer to real value as quickly as possible. Now, it doesn't stop there. Cloud for Sustainability is not just the capabilities from Microsoft. Our partners play a pivotal role in everything we do. The ecosystem that we have around Cloud for Sustainability is continually growing. So Marketplace App Source is the place to go for that. Whether you're an SI or an ISV, it's important to you. As an SI, this is where you can go to find solutions to fill in needs that may not be fulfilled by the core products. Or ISVs, if you're building solutions around it, this is where you list your products for all of the partners and our field sellers to see, to leverage, and so forth. Now, deals closed, time to implement. And for that, we've released the well-architected framework for Cloud for Sustainability. This is a rich set of materials to help you understand and really drive a sustainable implementation for your customers. Between this and the other documentation, best practices that I referred to earlier, this helps accelerate, understand, and build a solid foundation for your customers as you're working with all of the rich data and the processes within there. Implementation's over. We want to hear from you. Throughout the implementation, throughout the sales process, we want that feedback. Our teams thrive on the feedback, and this is how we continue to improve the product. So please, submit your product suggestions, whether it's a user experience suggestion, a feature gap, or any other good or bad feedback. We want to hear about it. What are we doing right? What do we need to improve on? What are customers needing, and what are you hearing from your customers? Please submit that feedback so that we can continually evolve that and continue to move the product forward. And lastly, it's important that we keep the conversation going. The Cloud for Sustainability community is a rich set of capabilities where customers, partners can ask questions, answer questions, continue to learn, carry the conversation, share best practices. As partners, you have the opportunity to spin up community blogs if this is an opportunity that you want to do. And it's not just for partners, customers, anybody that's part of that community can do so. So please go out to our community site, join the community site, participate in the conversations. Now, with that, I told you it would be fast through 25 slides, but be sure to go download that because I think there's a lot of great resources for you. I'm going to now hand it off to Shelly, who will dive deep into a few areas of the product.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's dig in. When you're starting off with your implementation, implementing Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability is no different than thinking about the core best practices of implementing any software. It's all about the people, the process, and the technology that you're bringing in for that in order to make sure that it is completely successful for you. Now, to ensure that success, when we look at the people, the most important thing is really to make sure everyone is on the same page with the goals. We've seen many times where different areas of the business, because as Brandon said, sustainability runs across all industries, and everyone in the organization, from HR to your factory manager to your IT manager, they're all impacted by sustainability. It's so important to make sure that goal is set, everyone agrees on it, and you know that North Star that you're working towards. We want to make sure all the teams have the right necessary skills and training. So as Brandon also called out, Microsoft Sustainability Manager is built on the Power Platform. So let's make sure that you've got individuals within your organization that have that Power Platform expertise. When we think about sustainability data solutions on Fabric, that of course is all about Fabric. So let's make sure we have people go through the certifications and understanding everything about Fabric. And then the sustainability lens on top of it is what brings the value into the market. Make sure you have a defined ownership structure. As you're looking at all the rooms in the house, make sure you know exactly who is accountable for each area. And then also make sure that the stakeholders are regularly engaged. This sounds pretty remedial, but it's so crazy, the escalations that we see, just because people internally aren't really on the same page. So focusing on people is absolutely critical in any change that you're doing within an organization. Now, when we look at the process, make sure that everything can be seamlessly adapted. Make sure you're really understanding and implementing what is new when something needs to be new. Make sure you're putting in a robust data governance in place. And then on the technology side, make sure you're staying up to date. Brandon called out that documentation page that we have, our learning page. We have a section in there that's called What's New. And every month as we ship our updates, we give very detailed information about what's new. If there are changes, if we introduce something like maybe a new feature that might have had a little different impact from what you were familiar with before, we document that and make sure you guys know that that's coming and what that impact is for you. Now, with that update concept, we also do send out an email. Well, actually, it's in the message center of Office 365, but you can add your email address there and configure it so you can get an email every time a new update comes out. So it's really important to make sure you're staying on top of those updates. We do ship monthly. So when we do ship monthly, we provide you the update first, allow you the ability to deploy that update yourself. If you haven't deployed it within a week of us making it available, we will automatically update the sandbox for you. Then we give you about 3 weeks to do your UAT testing. Then we will look to update your production environment. All of the dates, we are very clear about which regions we update and exactly when this is going to happen is all in that What's New article. So it's pretty critical to make sure we've got that. And we've already talked about our fully integrated systems that we have. We talked about the Power Platform, Fabric, and how everything sits on top of it. I do want to call out here in the technology side, your application lifecycle management. Now that's an area I'm not going to dive deep into today. If you guys have questions, we could certainly talk about that. But thinking about your ALM structure and your strategy. From the tech summit that we recently held 2 weeks ago, we have 2 great sessions all about ALM from the solution architects on the team. So I'd really recommend to go and check those out. Now, because we are, from a Microsoft Sustainability Manager perspective, a Power App built on the Power Platform, I wanted to make sure you guys were all aware of Success by Design. Success by Design is a Microsoft framework that is meant for Power Platform implementations. So you could think about any application that you're going to install that is built on the Power Platform, and you can use this framework for it. You see the 3 key principles: early discovery, proactive guidance, and that predictable success. Now, when we look at what is the Success by Design, you have a complete implementation guide. Now, a lot of this information here are the templates that you can use for your implementation. When I talked about that people section, you can use some of these templates to help set the goals, help it with the fit gap analysis. So this is a complete implementation guide that's available for you. Now, what you don't get in Success by Design is the architecture, the solution architecture, because this is really meant to be agnostic of any application that is sitting on top of the Power Platform. But in that well-architected framework that Brandon called out, that is where we have our solution architecture diagrams available. So it's all available for you. Okay, we're gonna get into 3 key areas that we always hear from our customers. And the first one is, I like your dashboards, but I don't love them. I kind of want my own. I want to put my own flair on them. I want to look at them a little differently. So they want to customize their analytics. Now this slide goes through the good, the bad, and things that you need to know about. As you can see, we've got 5 different options up here for you to look at when you want to customize your dashboards or your analytics. The first one is that in Microsoft Sustainability Manager, you can actually customize that form and that analytics page that's there. This was capability that we released in the April update. Great functionality. It's easy for users to do. If they see a bar chart and they want it as a pie chart, they can do that. They could do it themselves. So they could quickly see and get that high value on it. Now the downside of it is that if you have built any extensions onto the solution, like maybe you decided to bring in some tables and some columns that are gonna help customers collect data about some land usage, as an example. That's not native to our product, so you've extended the solution. These custom dashboards won't look at those semantic models. So that's the downside. Now the next option that you have is looking at Power BI plus Dataverse. Dataverse is the underlying infrastructure of Microsoft Sustainability Manager. So you can do a quick Power BI connector to Dataverse, and you can go into Power BI and just start creating your brand new dashboards. So it is easy to set up, pretty quick, but the downside of it is that it's not great for large amounts of data. So when we think about your corporation and all of the data coming in, you're gonna have your raw business activity data from around the organization. That can be in the millions of records. And then you have the output of the emissions data. And that output of the emissions data, if that's what you want to analyze in Power BI, using the Dataverse connector, that's usually pretty good. Pretty performant, not a problem. But if you really want to analyze that activity data, then number 3 is where we recommend you to use an Azure Synapse link with an analytical workspace. This is a little bit more to set up. You do have complete ETL capabilities here. The downside of it is that the automation effort of doing this is a little bit more. It's more technical, it's more in depth. You really need to make sure you've got the skill sets to pull this one off. Now, let's think about Fabric. Fabric is available. We know all the goodness of Fabric. There's a shortcut of Fabric to Dataverse. You can leverage the power of Fabric. Now, leveraging the power of Fabric, again, fairly easy to set up. It can handle the large amounts of data. The downside of it is really trying to plan for that capacity that you may need for it. You just might not be quite aware of what exactly capacity size you might need. But then we want to introduce sustainability data solutions in Fabric. That is the great end-all be-all when you want to think about your overall analytics that you really want to customize. So Microsoft Sustainability Manager data interacts with sustainability data solutions in Fabric. And here you can also then use the power of Power BI to create and get rich insights into all of your data. The next topic we're going to switch to is how do you bring that data into Microsoft Sustainability Manager? Now, if you're an ISV, hopefully you have thousands of customers, tens of thousands, and hopefully all of those tens of thousands of customers want to be on Microsoft Sustainability Manager. It's not great value add for you to send your consultant out there and to do a custom connector for every single one of those customers. So in order to help you get to scale, we have some benefits on what you can do with 2 solutions that we are making available for you to really scale your custom connector capability. The first one is that you can use Power Query templates. Power Query templates allow you to use the out-of-the-box Power Query capability, which already includes a bunch of connectors to a bunch of different platforms. Platforms everywhere from Google to SAP, and of course the favorite one of Excel. You can also, with this custom connector, make sure that once the data is imported, then you can kick off a calculation. So you can have a nice flow and a nice stream of bringing data in and calculating that data. Now, the 2 frameworks that we make available, the first one is that Power Query template. So you go to your first customer, you configure that Power Query template, you can package that as a solution and make it available on AppSource that Brandon was telling you about. That marketplace then, when you can advertise to everyone and say, hey, I'm a partner with Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability, and said customer, I can help you easily get your data into Microsoft Sustainability. So that's a great option. The next option is using Power Automate. This is a third-party framework that we created. Now, there are pros and cons of both of these. So let's look at the Power Query template. The best practice that you're going to see with both of them is to use what we call a correlation ID. The correlation ID is a value on the record to ensure you are not going to duplicate data. So that's the very first thing to make sure that you call out. Every line item that you're bringing in of activity data has a correlation ID. And that's good for anything, not just the connector. When you do have this Power Query template, you also can phase the information coming in. For what I mean by that is you may have some specific reference data. Maybe you have some data that is particular to your solution that you want included in all the customers' implementation, not just that activity data. You can bring that all in one template. You don't have to do it in multiple steps. You can have one step with one Power Query template that runs through everything. We do recommend you to add a parameter to support the incremental refresh. And of course, for any large data load, just think about making sure to chunk it up or partition it as well. Now, Power Automate. Power Automate gets a little fancier. So with Power Automate, you have the ability to, this is a structure that we have, but you have the ability to really extend this. So what I mean by that is you can add your own error handling. So you can add error handling that may be relevant to your solution so customers know where to go to find that end result of what they're looking for. So using the Power Automate option, it is more flexible and it does give you some of that flexibility that you don't get with a Power Query template. Again, you notice here the correlation ID, so critical. Make sure that you're always using the correlation ID. And also with Power Automate, you can also kick off the calculation activity as well. So anytime you are ingesting data into Microsoft Sustainability Manager using either this Power Automate function or the Power Query template, you can kick off that automatic calculation. Let's switch topics again. The next topic, role-level security. Not every organization wants every person that's using Microsoft Sustainability Manager to see all of the data. So we can introduce role-level security. Now, this is why customers want this. The customer challenge is that they want to have the right access to the right role within that organization or business unit. They want to make sure that they could see all of the proper custom configuration securities on any critical tasks, such as the data import or maybe some of the analytics. When you think about what we have as a structure, this structure is showing you first the Contoso Corporation. The Contoso Corporation is your Uber company. From there, you can set up business units, which we have defined here as Department A and Department B. Now you've got your users within each business unit. User 1 and 2 only should see Department A capability. User 3 should only see the Department B data. You can maintain this ownership in two ways. You can maintain it by user, or if you are having large volumes of people interacting with Microsoft Sustainability Manager, you can do it also by team ownership as well. So this is where you can give access to specific teams to have the full control. We do have built-in security roles that ship with Microsoft Sustainability Manager. The roles here are for full access, read-only data, the ability to just ingest the data, or the ability to just look at the reports. And you can see, I hope so, it's kind of small, you can see that we have this available for all users, or we have these roles available for the business unit user. So in that example that we had of user 2, maybe I just want that business user 2 for Department A to be able to read only the data. We've got a security model set up for them that will help you do that, so you don't need to go build these yourself. Here's the downside, is that the dashboards and insights that you have within Microsoft Sustainability Manager, they're governed by the whole organization. So those beautiful analytic dashboards that you've customized within Microsoft Sustainability Manager, everyone's gonna see that end result of the access. So you can do things where you remove them from the user, so the user won't even be able to see them when they log into Microsoft Sustainability Manager. But you just need to know that going to this role level security, it is great for looking at the activity data. It's also great, and we just released it in our November release, the ability for the calculated emissions to be tied to a business unit. So now you can see all of your activity data, your business unit data, but you won't be able to partition that out in your analytics and reports. That's what we have for the implementation on the best practices. Those are the top areas that we always get customers asking about. The custom analytics, the role-based security, and the connectors on bringing data in. How can we do a scalable connection to bringing data in? Now, we've also introduced, I think this was probably in the August timeframe, we introduced this concept of a partner assessment. With Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability, we do not have a standard certification. So you can go and be certified as an individual on the Power Platform. You can go and be certified on Fabric, and they've got multiple different certifications based off your role. We don't have certifications yet for Microsoft Sustainability Manager or for Sustainability Data Solutions, particular in Fabric. So the partner assessment, the purpose and the goal of this is really not looking at your individual people, but let's take a look at your organization as a whole. So let's look at your organization and understand where can we help you maybe lean in on maybe some of your go-to-market assets. Where can we help you lean in on some of your readiness? Maybe we've identified that you've got great Fabric staff on hand, but you don't have anyone that really knows Power Platform. So this assessment is very rich. We ask you to take a survey, you fill out the survey, we get the results, we analyze the results, and this is really how we want to get to scale with our partners. We want to make sure that we are setting you guys up for the best success possible. What you get as a result of going through the assessment is we get that shared market and the sales collateral. You also get an implementation plan and a roadmap for enablement. You get regular check-ins with your Microsoft product development or your PDM, your partner development manager, or a global black belt that focuses on partners specifically. What you give to us, because we can't just give it, let you guys have everything, so what you give to us is your post up on AppSource. We want to make sure that once we know about you, once you have gone through some deployments, we can really highlight you up on AppSource. We also want to make sure that any kind of partnership that we can do, any kind of blogs, making name announcements and drops at events like this, such as 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗃. That's where we really want to make sure that we're working together to help amplify all the great work you're doing. For the qualification, so the first qualification that we did initially is we wanted you to go through an implementation. So we wanted to make sure you had a customer under your belt. You're going through it, you're learning about it, you're working on the customer with it. We wanted to make sure it was a true implementation and not just a 30-day pilot with a customer. Now, what we've decided to do is we've decided to, and we're just gonna announce it here and start it in December in the January timeframe, is to really get this to scale. Right now, this doesn't scale very well. Right now, this is an activity where you bring people together from your organization, you sit with a solution architect on my team, and we have couple hours of meetings. But there's a lot of work that you have to do in order to bring all of that data together. What we're gonna move to is from a partner assessment perspective. This will still be around, and we'll still do this, and you can ask for one if you want, but we're gonna release a partner sales kit, a partner solution kit. Now, this kit that we want to make available is really more for you to go and kind of do a self-assessment. Take a look at where do you have all of the assets, understand what are we asking for and looking for in a partner of Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability. The output of the self-assessment that you take will still be that roadmap. It will still help you with, hey, we see that you don't have Power Platform. Here's videos, here's learning paths, here's what you need to do to get up to speed, here's in-a-day workshops that we recommend you taking. So that is happening right now. We're going through a little evolution of this program right now. So we're pretty excited to bring this out to the partners because now we think we can really help get to broader scale on the assessment side. And with that, I'd like to thank you guys for being here with Brandon and I today. We've got about, it looks like 13 minutes left, so let's open it up for any kind of questions that you guys may have. There is a microphone, so if you do have a question and don't mind putting it into the microphone so everyone can hear, that would be great.
Hi, I'm David Brown. I'm from Fractal. We're a partner and vendor of Microsoft. This is a partner-related question. I was wondering if we can leverage Azure Innovate or other partner-specific funds for Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability deployments.
So you can, when you think about building some of the AI capabilities that you may want to use on top of Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability.
Okay.
When we're looking at anything that you would need from like your learning paths that we showed or any of the sandbox offers where we can make the product available to you for free, all of those assets are free. So really the cost of that is your time. But when you are thinking about building some AI solutions that either surround or sit on top of any of our products of Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability, you can use the Azure Innovate funds for that.
Okay. And for deployments directly, would it be BizApps funding that you would leverage from a partner perspective?
Probably, yeah. I would say, wouldn't you?
I think it kind of depends because you can kind of go with both ways because the Sustainability Manager being in Power Platform follows the BizApps piece.
Yeah.
If it's more on Fabric and you're using Copilot Studio or Azure OpenAI, you're going to follow the other area. So kind of have a little bit of, kind of have some options a little bit.
Okay, cool. That was my question. Thanks for the answer.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah, the other thing I did forget to mention, and thank you for kind of reminding me on this, you saw a lot of the tips and tricks that we gave. They were very focused on Microsoft Sustainability Manager. Well, it's been in the market for what, 2.5 years now? So it's been in the market. We've learned a lot of things. We've listened from a lot of the customers. I expect next year when we come here, you're going to hear a lot of best practices on sustainability data solutions in Fabric, since we just announced that that is generally available. So from that, what we did is we took a lot of learnings from our preview and we rolled them into the general availability release.
But I will add, though, Sustainability Data Solutions is a capability of Fabric. So all of the best practices, all of the learnings, all of the tips, tricks that you can go learn about Fabric pretty much equally apply to everything you're doing with data solutions, Sustainability Data Solutions.
Thanks. Any other questions?
Yeah, sure. Just a quick one.
Yeah.
connectivity between Project ESG app and MSN?
Awesome. So the question is, we've released this Project ESG app, and really with the spirit of that for external reporting. And how is that connected with Microsoft Sustainability Manager? Brandon, as head of the product, let me turn that over to you.
It actually is part of Sustainability Manager. So, as that continues to evolve, that will actually be in Sustainability Manager when you see that. So we announced the general availability coming up. When that GA build rolls out, it will actually be combined. So Sustainability Manager Project ESG Lake is a capability of Sustainability Manager. So we no longer refer to it as Project ESG Lake now that it is generally available. It's external reporting in Sustainability Manager. Now, some really cool things that we've done with this, though, we've actually made that part of Sustainability Manager available independently through the Power Apps catalog for any Power Apps user to leverage. So they can start out with that reporting capability, the limited set of reporting templates in Power Apps. They can grow to acquiring a full license for Sustainability Manager, expanding on the capability, bringing in the calculations, the goals. And then from there, they could grow to the premium SKU, bringing in all of the AI capabilities. So we've added that as a pathway for customers to quickly start out with their reporting if they're Power Apps, grow to managing it, the whole business with calculations, expand to leveraging AI on top of that.
Maybe I misunderstood, but sorry, where I was going with my question was actually how do you get the emission data out of MSN into the facts that's sitting currently in what I would know as the Project ESG reporting tool?
So the question is how is the data from Sustainability Manager that you know today getting into the facts in the reporting capability? When that general availability build comes out, there is a direct integration. So when you go to the data imports in ESG, like, you'll see Sustainability Manager and you'll pull that data straight in. Yep, that's just not there yet. So.
Do you know when? Sorry.
Are we January? January. It'd be, yeah. Have to look to the people that really know the work. So.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Thanks for sticking around.
Yes.